Welcome to another episode of What Day Is It? The only podcast, maybe the only podcast that you can hear us talk about some things that are debatably gay and PETA at the same exact time. Here with me, of course, is my beautiful co-host, Fluffy,
What up?
aka AA Ron, aka the beautiful big bearded man.
That works.
And we are doing our favorite thing today, that is sipping this high quality H2O. At least that's what we'll let you think it is inside of our cups while we have these discussions for you guys listening to us. Forever grateful to have you guys for the couple ears coming on in. I know it is very, very difficult to hear us talk. But for once and all, here is your participation trophy. The trophy comes in the form of my voice. But happy to have you guys. We got a couple things for conversation today. Mostly we'll be talking about some HBO bullshit, but there are a couple brief things that we'll get into, in or out, maybe tell some stories. We'll see where this hour goes. But I'm going to let Fluffy start this one off because he recently watched Chimp Crazy, and he seems to be rather pissed off.
I hate everybody in it. Everybody in it sucks. But it's like, the director did these people just as dirty as did it with Tiger King.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Something Good? Eric Good?
You know what? All these notes, and I don't think I think you're right. Yep.
Eric Good. So, first of all, on that note, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Not a big fan of him. He does good work for PETA.
Right. That's the whole source. He's a good director at filming the bad side of the animal world.
Yeah, and what I don't it was entertaining. I'll give it that much. But what I don't understand is how these people even said, "Let's go." That's why they had to hire a proxy director.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy. And he had what was he, Ringling or something? He was some circus.
I don't recall.
Yeah, he was in some circus and animals and all that. I think he went to clown college.
Yep. He said he had always loved animals.
Yeah, and let me just get the first line of this movie, though. This is how they captured it. First line, and it was said later. The lady...
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
It's a documentary, don't count.
Not Connie Casey. Oh, God, I wish I had more...
You should learn how to write.
I should, but I just took so many notes. These are all notes.
This man did his homework on Chimp Crazy.
It's not Casey, but the first lady, we'll get to her later. The first lady just says, her bond with the chimp is stronger than the love for a human.
This is the woman that said she loved it more than her kids.
Yes, twice.
Yes, absolutely.
Twice in the fucking
Absolutely.
doc. I was like, all right, so that's the kind of people we're dealing with first.
We're not talking about the main lady, Tanya.
Yes, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya.
Tanya
Yes.
Haddix, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I have her somewhere in here.
And how do I say this? I agree. I definitely love animals more than people. We all do. That's why we do this kind of shit. But at the same time, I don't have a vagina, so I'm never gonna give birth. I don't know the love for my child, but I can't imagine that an animal could do more than that. I don't know.
And I like animals more than most people.
Absolutely.
But if an animal's attacking somebody, the person comes first.
Absolutely.
And which happened in the documentary, like the lady that got her face eaten out. Well, two.
There's a few people in that documentary.
Oh man, people got tore up, and that's why I don't fuck with monkeys.
No, chimps, apes.
Great apes, whatever you want. Yeah, I don't mess with the little critters either.
I don't mind. I'll take on a little capuchin. I'm scared of it still. Monkeys are still crazy.
They're
but
smart.
I'm not fucking with an ape though. There's no way.
They're too strong.
No way. That's there's horse people, who are absolutely fucking crazy.
Yes.
I'm not apologizing. And then there's dog people who are absolutely fucking crazy.
Yes.
Still not apologizing. And then there's camel people who are our own kind of fucking crazy. Everybody's their own kind of crazy. I definitely find that the camel people are a little more mellow. They're a lot more laid back. They're not as high strung, and it's probably because they're working with an animal that doesn't give them much grief.
Chill.
A very chill animal. But then there's primate people.
Yeah.
That's hell in a basket.
Yep.
For sure. what the fuck are you doing with this 200-pound chimpanzee?
That's super strong.
Super strong, dude. They got like tank strength,
And their teeth.
dude.
They're scary.
No, they're terrifying.
They showed a skull of like with the teeth, and I was like, like it's just not right.
Nope. It's not right. It's not for me. And they kept stressing in the documentary that chimps are, I don't even remember the percentage, like 98% of our DNA or whatever.
98.4, I think.
I don't give a fuck what percentage that chimp is. It has a 100% chance of being the fuck out of my house.
Yes.
Like, it's not.
Yes.
No, that's not okay, man. But.
Well, the one lady, I forget, I got it down here somewhere. They were teaching it how to drive a car. Excuse me? Like, if you got road rage, dude, it's over for that person. I feel bad for that
Start
person.
throwing bananas out the fucking window.
Dude, he'd rip you out of the window.
When I was doing the circus in Springfield, Illinois with the camels, one of the old elephant guys there was telling me, this was kind of in one ear and out the other, but one of the elephant guys was telling me that there was an old circus family that used to travel with chimps, of course, and he swore that they had these chimps down to a T, scooping up elephant shit, putting it in a fucking wheelbarrow and taking it out back. Like,
I believe it.
But he said if any person outside of that family went up to one of the chimps, they would fucking they'd
Murder
get hurt.
it. Yeah.
But he's like, for that family, it was literally like their kids working, which is kind of fucking wild. We know what they're capable of. We know they're super smart, but they can be smart outside.
Yeah,
Not in the building with me.
Yeah.
Is the chimp in the room with us? I hope not.
You'd see him chimping out. Yeah, dude, they're just a scary, scary subject. I mean, orangutans, at least they're chill, but they'll still rip your arm off and
fuck
beat
yeah.
you with
and
it.
They're huge. They're massive.
massive.
They're massive. You know, that's like, I can't. I don't know if you've been around any either, but I have absolutely zero. I guess history with orangutans, apes in general. Like, we've worked with the little monkeys. I've done some monkey transports and stuff like that, but I have no, I guess, ape history. But it's common knowledge on how to move around animals and how to not get hurt with them. And really, the common part is to not have them in your fucking house. I'm going to keep reiterating this goddamn problem. But the orangutans, too, like, dude, they're genius. They got to be one of the smartest animals on the planet. And you can't have that fucking shit cooped up. But the difference between an orangutan and a chimp is people have access to buying fucking chimps.
Yep.
The only orangutans I know that are around are the ones in the sad fucking enclosure at Racine Zoo.
Well, there's a couple other ones, but that one's pathetic.
Those are one of the only two that I've seen.
Here's what blows my mind, right? Like, they took these chimps out of the compound that was it Connie Casey. She was a huge chimp breeder.
Yep.
She had 42 chimps on this property at one time. So this enclosure could hold that many. Then they had the indoor ones. I go to Racine Zoo and I don't see, like, it's small. I'm sorry. For orangutans, that is small.
And they don't have outdoor access.
Yeah. And these monkeys did. These chimps did. These apes, whatever. And it's like, how are they, what is it, ZAA?
They're one of two.
Yeah, so they're pretty big. They got some
accredited.
Backing. They got some backing.
They're supposed to follow the gold standard.
Yeah, and I don't know how PETA got Connie Casey shut down. Well, Racine Zoo has enclosures like that, and that's a public.
And that goes with a lot of their animals as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's an old zoo.
It's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
So let's give them credit where credit is due, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, like, we need to do some updating, and we need to add some finer enclosures. Not that my fucking zoo isn't a dump, but, like, I also am not housing lions and orangutans.
And you don't have the money backing.
That's true. Not that they have the most money in the world, but whatever. On to chimp crazy before I get fired up about my
We're not going to go down that road today, I guess.
No, not today.
We'll keep visiting it. So, yeah, Tonka, he was a Hallmark monkey. He was the Hallmark monkey on all the cards.
Tonka, if you haven't seen it, Tonka's the main chimp.
The one of the main chimps. I'd say through the whole series, he
was the one living in the basement that was supposedly murked.
And thanks for ruining that. But yeah, at one point at the facility, I guess, Bo, one of the other chimps, bit off a guy's nose.
That's wild.
Yeah, because he was in the enclosure, and Connie had to go get said nose so he can get it attached back on. Because at one point in the documentary, he's talking. I think he had a chimp or something next to him, and you could see like a line. It's like I immediately, as soon as I seen that, I'm like that was bitten off.
If that was you and you walked out of the pen immediately, I'd have been like, "What's going on, Michael Jackson?" No time wasted.
But like it's like wild that like you can see the power of these things, and people are still like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be its buddy."
Well, when you put it that way, if we want to talk about the power of these things, it's the camel will pick you up and throw you. The elephant will crush you. You have to. It's. I wouldn't say it's completely about their power. It's about their mindset. It's about not even exactly about how they're raised. It's just they are completely fucking wild.
Yeah.
There is no wild leaving an ape.
Yeah.
You know, they're not domesticated. They're the farthest thing from it, and they're fucking batshit crazy. I mean, I don't remember the age, but they have a switch in their brain. And
and it seemed like around like the late teen years, that's when a lot of the monkeys died from the documentary.
Yeah, from the documentary.
And that's from eating people to getting shot, and then I got notes about all the other ones that died, but.
All in all, personally, like I found Tiger King was much more entertaining.
It was because you had Joe.
Facts. The Chimp Crazy did not have a Joe.
No.
You know, nobody in the show was entertaining.
No.
Everybody was just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, the main lady, I don't think she necessarily did anything crazy wrong. You know, I mean, she did some lying, I guess. But the other motherfucker snitched on her,
but
too.
That fucking PETA lawyer.
But the fucking PETA. The PETA was the worst part of the fucking show.
Dude, PETA had a 365-page report in 2017 about that fucking place. About that Connie Casey's place.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no fucking way.
What could you possibly write for 360 pages?
About how bad it is.
Right.
And they said they tried to do more. She said they spent $500,000 in renovation. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
But I do believe that they upkept it. Yeah. They're crazy, but they also want to keep the chimps.
Well, people that are crazy, too, they're crazy about their animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially in these private industries. But I feel like I could go to a zoo, and even a rather large zoo, walk around if I had backdoor access for a while, you know, to walk around for the day. I feel like I could leave that zoo, and even in a shittier zoo, I could possibly take like 3 pages and just bullet point everything wrong with it. Like,
oh yeah,
bullet, no water, bullet, rusty fence,
yeah,
bullet point, fucking pony needed Gatorade. I don't fucking know, but like,
poop
what
the
fuck? How could you write 360 pages worth of paragraphs for problems? It's basically you walk in there, I don't like the enclosure, ape looks sad, needs water, food, blah 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 blah. Like, there's only so many things that you could say wrong about it, unless they were like licking their finger and swiping the dust off of the corner of the fucking pen,
which they could have been.
Dude, I don't know how the fuck you can get that much out of it.
Well, and for 7 chimps too.
Right.
There was 7, and from what it sounded like, there was 7 because that's how many they picked up. Well,
right.
6.
And mind you, like you had said earlier, for 7 chimps, that outdoor enclosure was
huge,
pretty goddamn big.
I was impressed by it. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty nice.
I'd live in that shit.
Yeah, I was like, this is kind of a nice enclosure.
Like if Max and whatever the other one's name is, the orangutan at Racine Zoo had that thing,
yeah.
I wouldn't fucking say shit.
Wouldn't bat an eye.
Nope, no, that'd be badass.
That's the size of the castle there.
For real, man. That stinky
actually
ass castle.
Bigger, I think. Honestly, that enclosure, I forget what they said the size was, but it was large.
I bet it's bigger.
And so yeah, the chimp escaped there in 2020 also.
Mm-hmm.
Two escapes, and they try to blame PETA, which maybe.
I don't think they did. I don't think PETA was responsible for that. Who knows? However, I would definitely blame PETA on stuff like that. I mean, that is 100% something PETA would do. Sneak in, remove a lock, let a monkey go. Because then if PETA successfully gets that ape to leave, Somebody's going to report it, whatever. It's going to get shot. It could die, get returned home. However, that facility is going to get in trouble. That is one step closer for them to lose their chimps or lose their license or whatever. That is all a part of PETA's fucking agenda. I hated how much this documentary had to do with PETA.
Yep.
I don't even really remember PETA being in Tiger King.
No.
I hated how much they incorporated them bastards in this fucking film. And that dumb bitch, I don't know her name, but the woman, the PETA lawyer, the fucking we're people with exotic animals fucking what did she say? She said we know their secrets and whatever. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you are not a danger to us. No. Like, go after some real animal abusers. Go back.
And they're out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're out there.
Absolutely. There's probably more terrible people out there than there are good people.
That's a possibility.
We live in a pretty fucking evil world, but as far as I know, most private zookeepers or zoo owners live in amongst a gold standard. There's a lot of ZAA zoos that still, keepers leave at night and there's no fucking water in a tub. And that isn't exactly the zoo's fault, but it's really, really hard to weed out the worst employees you have, But once you get accredited, if you're missing standards, you're fucking done. You might as well just be private again.
Yeah.
But what's next on your bulletin point?
So, bringing up PETA again to get you fired up. PETA want all the chimps gone. So everything went to shit. Especially after the escapees. Tonka's missing though at this point.
Right.
They said he was dead. She got a nice looking camel too. Did you see that camel?
She did have a beautiful camel.
Wasn't it? And then a little baby. Because Maggie's like, oh, it's a baby.
She's giving it a bottle. It was a baby.
Well, but the one they showed, I was like, that's not a baby.
I mean, she might have been like 3 years old.
But everything was in temporary cages too. So that must have been...
Yeah, it was all in paneling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was like really quick. Like the documentary, I thought it was a longer, like time-wise.
Well, when did this come out? 2024? Did it come out last year?
Yeah.
Well, Tiger King was only 2020, which then the Big Cat Act came through in 2022. So I guess, I mean, for all we know, since I didn't really look into the timeline of it, we could possibly imagine that they immediately started shooting this after Tiger King.
Well, so from when they took the chimps, from that to where she got that chimp taken away at the end, that was a year.
Okay, so that is a very, very short time period.
Maybe a year and a half, because it was at dude's house too, and So, I also took this down. Tonka was a shy masturbator. He would hide it when he messed up. So.
Hey, me and Tonka the same.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't open the door.
So it's a little bit of human, or how'd they say, chimpan human or something?
He said chimp. I don't know. Yeah. It'll come to me.
It will. This is a perfect question I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. Where did Tanya get her money from?
That's a good question. I don't know.
She said it in the documentary.
I don't remember. I know she breeds and sells, and she's does she breed and sell, or is she just the middleman?
She's a broker.
She's a broker.
So yes, the middleman. How many animals did people sell, like being the middleman, and how rich are they? Now she probably sells abundance of them, but how many animals can you really sell to zoos and stuff?
I mean, that's valid. I do think there's always someone looking for an animal, which is rather crazy to me, because like let's put it this way, like I got my 2 kangaroos. I've had 3. The Rex passed, and kangaroos, we've talked about this before. The mama kangaroo, her gestation period's 30 days. It's gonna keep plopping out fucking babies, and these kangaroos keep selling. There are roos by the fucking dozen, dude. And the guy that I've gotten my kangaroos from in Ohio, fucking Ohio, he's probably a rather wealthy man. He's been around the block. He's a good dude, and he always finds homes. He doesn't have a fucking problem finding homes for these animals.
And that blows my mind.
Dude, I don't fucking understand it.
Really
does. Every blue moon he'll send something to the auction, but it's more like an emu or a pig or shit like that, something that he might have an abundance of. He does like a little wheel and deal, and he'll pick up and sell and stuff, but like he births all his kangaroos and has no fucking problem ridding of them. But he's also not a broker.
Yeah.
Everybody knows they can go to him for when they need something. He can find shit, but he's not really a broker. He does some broking, I should say, but it's mostly international.
Yeah.
But like being strictly a broker, I don't know, because you have to charge a rather large percentage,
Yeah.
to make money on these. I know where, if we were talking like chimps, what did they value the chimps at in the documentary?
I think it was like 30 to 50 and something, most
Sure.
of them around there.
If you want to sell your chimp, let's say $40,000, I mean, what are you going to take for your broker's fee on that? $5,000, $10,000. You gotta max it. I would go, instead of knowing I'm buying from a broker, I'm gonna go to fucking Joe Paul over here without a broker and buy it for cheaper. But the advantage of going through a broker, I suppose, is that they know where to get everything. But I guess to answer your question in a nutshell, I don't know. I don't know where the fuck all her money comes from. I truthfully have no idea. But
I mean, that's what she said, and she did have a lot of animals for that petting zoo like that.
Absolutely. Now, the documentary doesn't cover her life outside of
nothing.
the chimps. So maybe she saved up for a long time to buy an animal, or maybe she had a wealthy husband, or maybe
lottery or something.
Who knows? Her house was absolutely fucking beautiful. Her property was gorgeous. She definitely had some money sitting around. I mean, she could have started flipping animals for a long time ago. Who knows how long she was in this? Who knows? I mean, she could have started in 2000 when monkeys were cheap.
Yeah.
And if just like anything, if you get into something when it's cheap and flip it later on, you're gonna have the big bucks. It's like hitting the stock market,
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of people right now. Like you said, Galapagos tortoise. You buy one of those in a couple decades, you're rich.
Absolutely. You buy Galapagos for a few grand right now, and when it's of breeding age, sell it for fucking $100,000 if you can find a place to buy it. And dude, you got some fucking serious cash.
And take care of it. Don't buy a Galapagos tortoise to try to get rich. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. You gotta have a lot of land, a lot of room. You need probably like 5 or 6 of them to like
do
really
something,
make it work. Like. But that's my retirement plan. Fuck you guys.
And Shane can do that.
But the fifth one, when the fifth one sells, that's to pay for the food for all the other ones. My problem with this retirement plan is I don't know if I'd be able to get rid of them. Like I spent 30 years raising you things.
Right.
Like there's no way. Like I think I'd rather just be poor and homeless with my tortoise.
Especially Galapagos, they'll keep you warm. They'll protect you.
Dude, you can ride it and into battle and shit.
Dude, we can hook it up to a cart. We should train a Galapagos tortoise.
That'd be badass.
I think make a saddle for him.
PETA's gonna love that.
Oh, dude, they're gonna hate us
Galapagos
so much.
tortoise pulling a cart.
Galapagos tortoise rides.
Let's fucking do it.
$100 a head for a small circle.
Just fucking.
It's gonna take an hour, but
that's like Bubba the alligator in Illinois giving kids rides.
Yep.
That's badass.
I remember that, dude. That was terrifying to see.
Dude, Bubba was cool as shit.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was super fucking cool. What do you got next on your board?
All right, so before we get too off track, Travis the chimp. Sandy Harold owner, I think I was pronouncing that right. Carrie
Pick a fucking topic.
All right, so no, I'm just saying, I'm just setting it up. So that was a stepdaughter. Connie sold the monkey for $40,000, and this Connie Casey sold her the monkey for $40,000.
Yeah.
This is the chick in was it Ohio where the face got ripped off?
Yes.
Or no, I'm sorry. This is when the stepdaughter got eaten, I think.
Okay, the stepdaughter with the compound around the house.
I believe so, because Travis could use the microwave and drive,
which is badass.
He's got a lot of pictures of old celebrities. He was in an old Navy commercial.
Yep.
And then 2003, he was a kind of escapee downtown, Stanford, and that made them have laws for a permit for a primate, which is. I think you should have to have a permit for a primate. Honestly, that's like.
See, but how far does that really go? Because I have a permit for a primate, and all I have is my USDA license.
Really, that's all it takes, huh?
I have to fill out a primate care sheet in order to have my primates.
Okay, and then you have to have checkups too, right? Like
just your standard USDA inspection.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
it.
but USDA is coming on your property and checking it out, right?
Yep.
I think that's a thing.
Absolutely. It should, depending on the species you have, it should be more of a thing. Like if you have chimps or apes or something, USDA should be coming multiple times a year.
Yes, not just once a year.
But the shitty part that I'm going to bring this up with my inspector next time I see her. Not that she can do anything about it probably, but the primate care sheet is almost 100% based on monkeys.
Yeah.
And I have lemurs. So I had a really troublesome time filling out this care sheet because there's a very big intelligence difference between the species. Like lemurs, they're very food motivated like most species, but they don't do puzzles unless there's food involved. They don't hang by their tails. Their tails are not prehensile. Like they do different activities than monkeys. So I struggled filling out this sheet because it was all shit that, will you do this? Will you do this? It was all shit that was for monkeys.
But they do dance and they wear those funny hats, right? Like in the Madagascar movie.
I wish. I fucking wish. Lemurs don't do shit, but eat, sleep, shit,
and jump.
They
are crazy jumpers.
And they're great jumpers, but like they just don't do what monkeys do. And the one thing that I found was kind of crazy too. In your USDA primate care sheet, it states that if you have a primate, it doesn't say specifically what kind of primate. None of this thing does because it fucking sucks. If you have any kind of primate, they have to at least be in viewing distance of another primate. They have to at least be able to see another one because they're not meant to be alone.
Yeah.
And there's people that keep primates by themselves all the fucking time. And I'm biased on this because like people raising little capuchin monkeys, cool. You know what? I don't give a shit. That's totally fine. It's not a chimp. Let's keep the chimps out of the fucking house. Yeah. It can still eat your fucking face. But like in that sense, somebody raising a capuchin monkey, you are the parent, you are the enrichment. That's fine. But if you have a monkey that lives in a cage somewhere, it needs a buddy. It needs a buddy. And at the very least, I could agree in that sentence of maybe viewing distance. But then why are we teasing monkeys?
Right.
Like why are we putting them across the hallway to throw shit at each other?
Prisoners can see that, like let them have a buddy.
Right. So there's some weird shit in this paperwork. Honestly, I should have pulled that primate sheet out for this episode. I didn't even think about it. Maybe
next week.
We can do that next week. Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit on there.
And that's another thing about like having, a primate at your house. Like this is a perfect example of what we're talking about, which kind of why I led to it. But so this lady, her husband died of stomach cancer, and February 16th, 2009, this is the one that the lady got her face eaten.
Okay.
She was the babysitter. She grew up with the monkey. She knew the monkey pretty well. So I put it together like, oh man, like if Shane had a problem camel and like Doofus, we'll just say Doofus is going nuts.
Yeah.
I trained him years ago. You know him you own him now. You know him pretty good. And you needed help with him. Well, then he tore my face off.
Right.
Like that's how I put it in my head right away because that's what was going over there. She was technically the babysitter.
Bottom line, it's still a wild animal.
Oh yeah.
And people claim that camels had been domesticated for hundreds of thousands of years.
But it happened so quick.
It's a fucking wild animal.
Yep.
I don't care if it's a camel or a monkey. Like.
So she ended up stabbing the monkey too.
Yep. Like, which is wicked.
I seen the knife. By the way. That was, dude. You were getting your face ripped off and just. Or no, she was the owner.
I don't recall her name.
Yeah, Sandy. Sandy was stabbing her.
I really do have to give her props for that. I mean, you're stabbing your child.
Yeah, and then the cops came in, shot him, and then he ran. Or no, he tried ripping the door off of the cop car, and the cop was like, I think he did rip the door open, and the cop just put a couple in him, and then he ran back into his cage, and then that's where he passed away. But the lady went on Oprah, the one that got her face eaten off, and like just behind the veil, it was just like, oh my god, dude.
It reminded this is super fucked up, but it reminded me. Have you seen Terrifier?
Yes.
The opening sequence of Terrifier with the lady's face that's ripped off. Do you remember this scene?
No, I don't.
It's fucked up. It's a terrible comparison. I shouldn't even do that. But it was the first thing that popped into my head because one's real and one's Hollywood.
Yeah, but it looked fake.
Dude, it was fake. Wicked. I feel so bad for the lady.
And her hands were gone. I didn't know her hands got eaten off too.
Fucking nubby, dude. Like it's fucked up. And so anyway, her friend got her the fucking chimp ripped her goddamn face apart.
Yep.
What'd the lady do after?
Nothing. She did nothing, and then she bought another chimp.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and then the Endangered Species Act left out captive chimps, which I thought was weird. But what's her name? That is
strange. Who are you looking for?
I can't. The name of
Come on.
Yeah, I lost it. Yep, that's my bad.
Fluffy
Anyways,
fucking sucks. Sorry,
I do
guys.
suck. Sorry, guys. I got my notes all in a tizzle right now.
These kind of are. He wrote these when he was drunk. When Fluffy said he was coming to the podcast with notes, I thought it was going to be
they're
like
good.
I thought it was going to be like bing 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 bing. But yeah, he sure got these kind of fucking wound up.
Well, okay, because they got them all. I was watching the documentary. I was like, I gotta move this around, move that around, and I didn't. Because there's so many notes. And it kept jumping around a lot.
The documentary did jump around a lot. When I initially watched it, I accidentally clicked play on episode 4 right away, the last episode. So the whole time I was lost as fuck. I was like, what is going on? And then I had to restart it. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But regardless, starting from front to back, it honestly is almost a little hard to follow.
It is, because they brought back how Tonka was cremated. Because he died, they said, when they went to go pick up all the other chimps. They said he died, and they cremated him at 170 degrees.
Which you can't do that, right?
What temperature do you cook food at?
I guess 165 is
to
top.
warm it up.
So yeah, I mean that 165 is a well done burger.
Yeah.
So
their husband that cooked the monkey, so called, left out a 0. He said.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
1700 sounds like it would do it. It would.
I don't know what temperature would be used to cremate a body.
During the cold case, though, I was like, oh, they got her dead to rights now. Like, because they brought in this dude that was a specialist in, like, mummification and, like, burning bodies. So he bought a bunch of pig parts in there, and he threw them in a furnace at a crematorium, and there was still bones left. They had to crush said bones yet to actually, make it into powder, because that's all she had was a bag of powder.
Sure. The Google machine says between 1400 to 1600 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so 1700 is a little bit overdoing it, and he did it in a bonfire, it sounded like, so that's what it sounded like.
How the fuck are you going to bonfire to whatever?
Very carefully.
Go. Okay.
Damn. No. Go.
So skip forward ahead here a little bit. Tonka's still alive.
Yes.
We
found that out in the end of the one episode. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I knew he was still alive.
The pro bono director snitched, whatever.
Yep. And that's just it. But she told them.
But the direction I'm going after with this is they dug up a buried chimp.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up.
They dug up a friend's buried dead chimpanzee to fake this chimp's death.
Yes.
I'm sure she does love Tonka. That's cool, but that was fucking crazy.
That was CY. That's the one that took that's the one that took Tonka over for 6 months on his compound.
Okay.
And they dug up Ricky because he died in 2019.
Jesus.
Dude, they're admitting this shit on camera. They're all involved in, like, complete... It's a conspiracy at this point.
See, the craziest fucking part about this is there's two sides of the documentary. There's Tanya's, and then there's whatever the pseudo director's name is. That he's in her life, but he's gonna snitch on her to the normal director. Even if I'm the person with the animal, I would have trouble saying this shit to a camera.
Right?
Like, you have to know that this is going to be more than it is.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think the guy that directed fucking Tiger King is going to make you look good?
No, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's fucking not, man. And Tiger King, like, in my honest opinion, I really don't think it made Joe look bad with his tigers. He was fucking nuts, but he loved his tigers. It made Carol look like a fucking bitch.
Yep.
She was fucking awful. But at the end of the day, whether or not you think Joe looked good or not, half the world fucking hates him because of that show. And you really believed that this documentary was going to make you look good. So part of me feels like she was paid out for this, or she knew what the script was going to be. I have no fucking idea. I balls to the wall, clueless. There's no fucking way. If that guy came to me and was like, if Eric Good came to me, the director, and said, hey, I want to film a documentary on Eli the camel that's dead. What we're gonna do is talk about his life or whatever. I'd be like, fuck no, because I know he's gonna go to the other side of it and find a video of somebody that isn't even me whooping a camel's ass, and then you'd be like, oh, camel people do this. Like, he's not gonna make you look good.
Nope.
Well, he's not. What the fuck?
Especially when they're talking to PETA. Absolutely
No,
not.
no, there's no. And if she really was unaware of which direction this documentary was going to go, there's no way in hell she knew PETA was involved. I mean, she knows PETA was involved because PETA was involved with it. They were involved with her.
Yeah.
But I don't think she would have known that PETA was literally in the documentary. You know, like
probably not.
How did she think this would benefit her? And you know, some people are all good. Any publicity is good publicity. For a portion, that's true. And I guarantee you she's still selling, you know, animals. You know, the people in the animal industry are probably still friends with her, you know, because we're all the same person. We're like, fuck PETA, fuck blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know how she thought that it would make her look incredibly good in the limelight.
She's one of those people, though, that, like, she feels she looks good in front of anybody, I think.
Maybe.
I mean, she was getting a tan during an interview at one of the points. She was getting her Botox injections when they were talking to her.
Well, the cops were at her fucking house, and she was on the phone with the pseudo director, and
oh yeah, I'm getting my nails done or something.
Yeah, shit. I can't miss that. I'm getting my nails did. Like, oh my god.
Excuse me?
Prima fucking donna. Like, that's crazy. And
where are your priorities at, lady?
And just to be frank on this, I don't hate this woman. Like, I think I mercifully hate everyone in the documentary because they're all just fucking nuts.
I hate them all.
The only thing she really did wrong is, lie about where this animal was and whatnot. But, like, if you're protecting an animal you love, I'll condone it. I'll condone that. But it was definitely sketchy. It was all fucked up.
Yes.
But there are decent sides to this.
There are, and it's hard to look at hers because they painted her in such a bad light.
They did, which was fucked up. But did she know they were going to do that? I think this is the conspiracy theory part of this fucking documentary, because Tiger King didn't feel like this at all. No. Tiger King was just an entertaining shit show.
Yes. Everybody ate it up because everybody was locked in their house.
Ate it the fucked up. Ate it up, man. And I don't feel that this documentary had the same effect.
No, but in the same time, it was just completely off the wall the whole time. I mean, it was a slow-moving documentary like most are. Mm-hmm. But, like, dude, when they showed Tonka in that basement, I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it this whole time. She was hiding this. I was like, but she gave him permission. Come check my house out. They would have found that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and she was like bluffing. That's a huge bluff by her.
And honestly, that pen in her basement was rather nice.
I mean, it wasn't small. Huge. It was small, and
it was, but it was rather well put together. It looked. Yeah. It just, I wish it had outdoor access.
We couldn't.
But yeah, she's trying to hide it. You know,
and she did a good job for a year.
Fuck, her kids didn't know it was in the basement
for 6 months.
That's fucking crazy. How do you got a chimpanzee in a house nobody fucking knows?
And then 6 months later,
the walls, like
right, because they ain't quiet.
No, unless I don't know.
And then 6 months later, he was doing an interview with the chimp downstairs,
literally
next to it. So I wonder if he was lying about that too.
Was he lying about it, or did they bring the documentary to her and she was like, "Okay, I'll get him to talk to the chimp." Like, who really knew?
Yeah.
Was the documentary truthful?
Well, that's just it. Like, how real
was she paid out the ass for this to make a bad light on the chimp world? Did she just say, "Okay, fuck it, I'll do it"?
That's a good point.
You know, I would hope that nobody in the animal industry would give in for their animals like that.
No, but
I if I was her, I don't know anything about the chimpanzee rescue. What was it, down in Florida?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if they're good people. I don't know about it, but it looked incredible. And if I was her, I would have been happy sending Tonka there.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that was like her end goal. She's like, fuck it, I'm going to make some money, and he's going there anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I feel like we have absolutely zero fucking idea because of how washy the documentary was. And as decent as it was hard as fuck to follow. Yes. And once again, fuck Eric Good.
Yes. And at one point, they were... trying to... Oh, my God. I keep losing where I'm at.
You're fucking dumb.
No, I know.
Duh, dingus.
I know.
Got chimp brain over here.
Dude, I'm chimping out so hard right now.
That sounds gay.
Oh, God. I don't know why I keep losing my spot.
You got notes. How
I know, and that's what
makes
it work. Because it jumps around. God damn it. But anyway, so we're going to bring up buck and
next time, use bullet points.
Yes, you're going to show me how to do that.
I
was bad at English.
Me too. That brought me into my super senior year.
That close. That close. I had to do 2 credits in English my final year.
We're all dummies. It's okay.
Yeah, I took applied math too. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's the most basic math you can take in high school.
I never made it past Algebra 1.
No? Yeah, you made it farther than me. Anyways.
How? Algebra 1 is the first class when you get to high school.
No, it's not. Applied math is. You can go... It's like stupid math.
Why didn't I get that? I was in Algebra 1 for fucking 5 years.
That's dumb. You only needed 2 credits of it.
Dude, I
took 2 credits of applied math. Basic applied math and...
Well,
but applied math is the shit you use outside.
I passed math my freshman year and then didn't pass it again until my super senior year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I shouldn't have been lazy. And I went to the alternative school, and I did a quarter of a semester at Horlick, and then my guidance counselor was like, let's send you to the alternative school. It'll be easier. Let's get you out of here. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And so I went to the alternative school. I needed one whole semester of English and then a half a semester of math, I think. And I walked in there, and it is exactly what you think it is. It's hood as shit. It's a bunch of 16-year-old pregnant women. Like, it's nasty as fuck.
The prime of Racine.
The prime. So I walked in there, and I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. So I walked up to my English teacher in there, and I was like, look, I'm not dumb. I'm just lazy. And
let me out.
I was like, give me all the homework. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I want all of the homework. And I said the same thing to my math teacher. And the next day, they both brought me a fucking folder like thick as my Yeti cup here. And they're like, here's the entire year of homework. And I finished the entire year of English homework in a week. Handed it in, got the fuck out of there. Dude, I've never hit the fucking book harder. I hit that book like I was trying to fucking kill it. Dude.
And why can't we do that?
Dude, so I got the fuck out of English. And then I spent another like half a year though there because I was still too lazy to do all the math homework. So I ended up actually, I split the math homework, or my buddy might have taken more. My friend Ty, I ended up paying him a really, really, really nice, fanciest restaurant, Olive Garden. I bought him a real, hell yeah, we were high school kids. Well, I guess he was out of high school, I wasn't, but I gave him an Olive Garden date to do half of my math homework. And because Ty's a fucking genius, that man figure anything out. So then I slowly made my way through the other half. And sometimes I'm so bad at math still. Ty will be like, I wish I didn't do your fucking homework, you idiot. So it's like, hey, but I love you, dog. You got me out of high school.
See, like, I barely passed applied math at some points because, like, it was always different. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes we did a little bit of algebra, a little bit of this. Funny thing now is, like, I use trigonometry on a daily basis. Do you use fucking trigonometry?
Nope.
There's an app for it now.
Dude, when I was in high school, there was photo math. You could point it at the equation and it'd write it all out for you. Because the teachers were always like, I have to see your work.
Yep.
So I'd write down the whole goddamn equation, dude. Fucking badass. The only time I use math in my adult life is like when I'm on the camel ride stand counting cash, or I'm playing fucking Minecraft. I need to figure out how big, do I want my house to be 10 by 8 blocks, 10 by 12 blocks? How do I make a half circle out of blocks? Like, Minecraft is definitely the most I use math, but it's basic math.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's dividing, like if I do this many blocks this way, how many times does it go this way, or multiplication, vice versa. But literally, I swear to God, that's the only time I use math in my life. I mean, I use a tape measure too, but like the numbers are written on the fucking tape measure.
Yeah, so you got to
like, so I go here and draw a line, it's, I don't
4 lines in, we're good, mark it.
Fucking mark the motherfucker. Don't have to be perfect.
And now I have to work in metric, which metric, again, I'm sorry we're getting so off track.
That's because it's a German company,
yes,
right?
Yes, but it's like, metric is so much easier. Like,
is it?
Measuring wise, oh my, everything's in 10.
Really?
10. I got 10 fingers, you got 10 toes.
Right. I've never actually used metric before. I don't know the first thing about it.
Dude, all right, Celsius, just for example. It's less accurate, I guess, but like, dude, whatever.
How does Celsius work? What's the...
0 is freezing. Temperature of water freezing.
Is 0.
0.
Instead of 32. Negative
Yes.
32. Or no, just 32.
Yes.
So what is 10 in Celsius?
I have no idea. Still.
So, well, if
32
is freezing and 0 is in Celsius... I have to do math.
Yeah, see, that's what we got Google for, though. But here, you want to know the greatest thing is? What's boiling? What's boiling temperature for Fahrenheit? Celsius, it's 100.
Okay,
What?
what is in Fahrenheit?
I don't know, like 212 or some dumb shit like that. It's some random ass
So 0
number.
to 100 basically is
Yes.
the math of Celsius.
For water, the Celsius was made, the water, for as far as I know, is how water reacts to the temperature, which is genius.
Sure.
That makes it easy. Oh, it's freezing out today. That means it's 0.
That makes sense to me.
Oh, while it's really, really, really hot, the Earth is boiling. Oh, it must be 100.
Does Celsius, do you know if Celsius, like, do people add in wind chills and stuff with that too?
I'm sure, yeah. I don't know anything about that, but
Sure.
I work in millimeters. I don't work
Sure.
yeah.
That had to be a little bit of a change when you started doing that, but
It was, but it's so much easier to pick up because machining in standard or English, whatever you want to call it, sucks.
I'll have to get a tape measure with centimeters on it.
That's all, or most of my work do, but
Maybe my other side of mine. I don't know.
Some of them have like metric on top,
Or
standard
not
on the bottom.
centimeters. I'm a dingus. A tape measure in metric. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Whatever.
We're getting a little off track
yeah,
here.
we're over here talking about work and shit.
So yeah. Anyways, the last part of the movie though, we were just talking about CY dug up Ricky. Oh yeah, by the way, he was using fraudulent credit cards through the state or city, county, whatever who he was working for, and buying like hot tubs and he had a buying problem.
I
And
would
he
do
was
the
just
same shit.
yeah, he just racked up shit. So I'm like, how did this guy
He did.
still
He
have
worked
money?
for the government.
Yep, another asshole. Anyways, so like the Buck and Pendleton in 2021, so pretty recently. Tamara Brogatti, owner of Buck. She's probably a horse person as well. She seemed absolutely insane to me.
Sure.
She lied about being a primatologist. She was telling people, I'm a primatologist. I'm going to do a thing where I'm going to live with a primate and just like make it a person. Well, that's just insane. That's some horse person shit.
It is some horse person shit.
I'm sorry I hate horses, so you can sue me for that. I'm sorry.
We all do.
And she was a bitch. I actually put that in my note. At one point...
She was a bitch. I put it in my note.
At one point, the monkey, this ape, had a collar on it. A padlock collar.
Yep.
All right, well, if it's such a good monkey, why you got a fucking collar on it?
Right.
And then it moved to a shock collar.
Which is insane. Imagine,
You're gonna shock
shocking
a chimp. Oh my god.
No.
You're gonna. Oh, you want it to ape out? It's gonna ape out then.
Yeah, imagine just shocking that motherfucker and he runs over and rips your dick off. Like, I would not play with it.
It's still getting shocked. It's
It's fucking tearing
his
you.
teeth. I just.
Guess you're circumcised now, bitch. Like,
Oh.
it's fucking Christ.
Your skin is gone. He'll deglove everything on you.
Oh,
Degloving.
deglove is a terrible word. Like, I never want to hear you say that again.
Deglove. Never seen it, but like that chick from Tiger King, I think she got degloved, right? Her hand or something.
It's ew. That's like moist. Like,
Ripped off.
like it's like deglove, like a mascara commercial, but
Right.
it ends in deglove.
Deglove for your face, or not.
Keep it or don't. I don't care. Waving silk curtains to look like a chocolate commercial. Fucking Christ. Deglove chocolate.
Degloved. All right.
That's terrible.
I hate that word, but it's a cool word though.
No.
It makes sense.
No.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it makes sense, but I don't like it.
No, yeah. And he's like Terminator.
That's fucked.
So Tamara's daughter lived with her, in this compound. This is the one we were talking about earlier, and the whole thing was fenced in.
If you guys haven't seen it, the entire house was like a compound. It was fenced in, chain link around the entire
Two-story house, huge house.
It looked ridiculous. Like, if
Yeah.
I would have drove up to this house, I would have put the car in reverse and just fucking left. Like, I'm not walking into a house that looks like it's made for the zombie apocalypse.
No, it'd be cool,
I'm gone.
but obviously that person is not right in the head.
No.
Or they own a chimp. The chimp ended up attacking her after some semantics with her living in the basement. That's the chimp's house. Chimp moved upstairs. Well, the protocol wasn't followed. You know everything about protocol. You used to work with big cats, right?
Yep.
Yeah, when you don't follow protocol, like shift them out, no, bad shit's gonna happen. Bad shit happened. It was like 5 or 10 minutes she was getting attacked for. That's got to be just.
That has to feel like hours in chimp
Oh
attack
my
time.
god, dude! Because it's just moving so fast. It's so strong. It's throwing you
And
around the room.
screaming and yelling and
You have no
hooting
power
and
against
high.
it.
No, you don't.
No, it's chimping out. You're done.
Absolutely.
So police showed up and she was super calm on the phone. You remember that phone call? How calm she was.
I don't recall, but I do know when they got there, she was yelling to shoot it.
Well, yeah, because she's like, I'm in the house, shoot him, shoot him. I'm going to shoot him wherever this bullet lands, it lands, lady. Right. And I'm going to make a couple.
I don't know if the documentary, I've never watched that, just the straight footage. I don't know if the documentary made it look like the officer was an incredible shot, but it made it look like he got it, a headshot, one shot.
I'm sure you stopped moving long enough to, they train enough, they should be able to.
That's valid.
Yeah.
You would think, though. We got a lot of dog shit ass cops, but you would think.
Yeah, but the way he was handling that firearm, he seemed like he knew what he was doing.
Hopefully.
Because you'd be surprised how much they train out here.
I can't imagine they train much. What's fucking the academy? 6 months?
No. I'm saying, like, they have to keep up training, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're always out at the range.
Sure. Good. They should be. Yeah, let's not give them fucking psychological, training. Let's just make sure they can fucking shoot anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is why our fucking cops suck.
Well, and that's why I've heard that they want to keep the range around now is for the police departments all around, like southeastern Wisconsin. A lot of precincts shoot here.
That's cool. I mean, cops should know how to use their firearms safely, but I really think
there needs to be more.
They need to go through some mental training more than whatever the fuck they're going through, man. Because a lot of these cops, man, just they're big bad fucking bozos, and with the way the world's going, a lot of them I feel are just itching to fucking shoot something because that's the part they're good at.
Well, some are.
Like
not all of them, but
I don't know. I hate horses, and I'm not the brightest of cops. I don't like government.
Well,
so
yeah,
what the fuck
and they enforce the government. So.
Everybody's goddamn corrupt.
So yeah, ends up that at the end of this, PETA is suing her now. What was it, Tamara, right? Tanya, thank you. Jeez, there's so many names I'm forgetting right now. Anyways, Tanya, they're suing her for $250,000.
It's a lot of money.
They're like, oh yeah, we're not trying to kick her out of the street, dude, bro.
It's a lot of money, PETA.
For what? Oh, because you lied about your. I get it. They're mad. But
there was nothing sue-worthy in the show.
No.
And, like, PETA has nothing to fucking do with this woman, nothing to do with this chimp, nothing to do with the place the chimp came from, nothing to do with the rescues. How the fuck could you sue her?
Yeah.
Like, you're just suing her because you feel like it.
Because you can.
Because you fucking can. It's a case that has nothing to do with anybody. Like, nothing to do with you, PETA. This is just the shit that PETA does. And you know what? Let's, boil it down a little bit. I like monkeys. I've said this before, but I don't think apes should be in people's houses.
No, absolutely not.
Whether or not, you like it or not, it still isn't sue-worthy. It's not your chimp. It has nothing to do with you whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And...
Now, if he was, mishandled or beaten or, he didn't have food... Right. And some of these chimps were. Some not hers, but like there was like the buck one, I think he was living in a cage for a while. That was like he wasn't getting his crapper emptied and stuff because he was pooping on a toilet.
The one thing that's super important to put, since we're kind of at the end of the documentary here, we blasted around it a little bit. Go watch it.
It's worth the watch.
It's not too hard to watch either.
It's 4 episodes.
But Tiger King, we've talked about this before on the podcast. Tiger King launched, and then 2 years later, the bill got passed for the Big Cat Public Safety Act. They launched Tiger King essentially with this bill and then got it signed. Then they went to HBO. They dropped Chimp Crazy with the Primate Public Safety Act, and they're trying to get that signed now. So these TV shows, they are working to gain or to make an introduction to the general public of the bad things going on.
Propaganda.
And then they're trying to make it, make waves with it to take to the government and get shit signed. And, whichever president or vice, or whoever the fuck signs it.
Don't matter who it is.
They're just going to look good because they signed it. So the Biden administration signed the Tiger Act, so we'll see if this new one gets passed. But what I want to say about this bill is it's going to do about the exact same thing the Tiger Safety Act did. No unlawful breeding. You have to have a license. It can't be completely private. You can have a private license, but you can't just be a Joe Schmo. It's going to stop a lot of the bad things with the primates. But kind of like I said earlier, lemurs and monkeys and like apes should all be viewed almost as different animals. They're different animals.
Yeah, they are.
All based on much different intelligence. And lemurs, they just, all they want to do is bask in the fucking sun. It is so easy to give a lemur a nice home, especially down south where they can stay out all year. They sit in the sun. They sit like little Buddhas. They're happy, and then there's monkeys where you have to give them a lot more enrichment, but they're very personable. They're fun. You can play with them. They're pocket sized, some of them. There's bigger ones like spiders and stuff, but they do love hard, and they hurt even harder when they decide to hurt, but like monkeys are fucking cool. And I don't think that is an insane thing to do. But then there are apes, and I don't think anybody should be allowed to own an ape. I don't say this very often, but it's one of the animals that I don't really think we should have in captivity. I own a zoo, so that statement coming from me, it almost hurts me to say. And even my old boss Bob, he would disagree with me. He loved chimps, but I don't think we should do it. Now, I'm not 100% against putting them in zoos, especially for like preservation or breeding programs, things like that, because animals do better in captivity. That is a well-known and proven fact. But chimps and other apes, they're just so goddamn intelligent. And especially orangutans and gorillas, they're just so fucking massive. They're a huge animal with a huge brain. And when it comes to that, they need a huge area to roam. So like if you can mimic the wild with these chimps, you know what? Let's go for it. But I don't think chimps should be in small pens. These chimps shouldn't be in corn cribs. Like, they need to go live like a chimp would naturally, with the bonuses of being in captivity. So, let's mimic the wild, but give them their meals and give them their friends and give them enrichment. But mimicking the wild with these animals specifically, I do feel is so important. And then outside of all of that, I'm probably not the only person that feels this way, but when I look at these great apes, chimps and orangutans and gorillas, like I feel for them. There's so much emotion behind their eyes, whether it's sadness or being fucking crazy, because let's be real, they are the closest thing to us. And it does make me sad seeing these larger primates in captivity, and that is the only animal you will ever hear me say that about.
For the great apes?
It's the only one. Chimps, orangutans, gorillas, they deserve to be in the wild.
Yep.
They 100% do. But the other side of things that we have to look at is some of these animals can't thrive in the wild anymore. We're fucking taking down forests. We're putting up trains. We're doing all types of shit. It makes it hard for these animals to thrive
poachers.
in certain areas. Poachers. So we do need them in captivity, but we 120% have to do it right and have to try and mimic these guys. We should not have orangutans in a pen that's 50 by 50 with bulletproof glass on it. Like it's just literally, it's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough. They are so goddamn intelligent, and they're only one step behind us. And honestly, the way that humanity is going right now, I would argue that these orangutans are probably fucking smarter than a lot of these motherfuckers. Like, man, yeah. It's fucked up. But I definitely think the species need to be separated, possibly into separate bills.
1,000%. I'm thinking of this right now. You have llamas, alpacas, guanacos, camels.
Right.
They're not all the fucking same.
They're not. None of them are the same.
No, they're not even close, but they're in the same family.
Right.
So you're classifying that, or like a pony and a horse.
It's not the same animal.
I don't even like saying that.
It's not the same animal, but they're all similar.
And a donkey.
They're similar enough. The difference is, like, can guanacos, llamas, ponies, horses, camels be dangerous? Yes, they sure as fuck can. But the likelihood is much less so, debatably for the horse, much less so.
No, they're evil.
Much less so than the apes.
Yes.
And the apes are fucking cool until they're not.
But that's how they're kind of classifying it. They're just throwing it all under one umbrella. Under one
umbrella, which I totally get. And it makes sense. It would make it easier, but
for them,
for them, not us. And one thing that's why this is super fucking important to me is because if this bill passes, people will no longer be able to come to Rigdon Ranch and interact with lemurs,
Yeah.
which fucking sucks ass.
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do with my business, or if you think it's a fucking business scheme, because most people that come on my tours almost strictly come here to visit the capybaras.
Yes, that's what everybody I talk to.
Dude, everybody wants to see the capybaras. People don't even know that the camels are here till they fucking come. Nobody reads the description. They're just like, oh, capybaras book, okay.
Yep.
But the lemurs are a bonus thing, and they're fucking cool. And you're getting to interact with something that is it's a small little dumb human. Because
you get so close to them.
So close. I've brought people in with them. I plan on this year doing that a whole lot more. And they have hands, and they have toes and feet, and they eat like people. You know, they're not as intelligent as a monkey, but it is a primate, and it's a insane opportunity being able to hang out with a primate.
Oh, yeah.
And lemurs are fucking safe. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I know you got your stories, but the problematic lemurs are the ones that are raised in a house. They're raised with humans. They're on a bottle, shit like that. Because those ones they have a wire in their head, and they flip. It makes them ornery because they're being asked to do a little more than their little lemur brains can handle. But lemurs that are raised in a legitimate troop of lemurs, they hang the fuck out. They walk over. They grab a piece of fruit from you, and they come back when they're ready for some more. Like that's the safest way to do lemur interactions is with a wild lemur. So that means don't put it on your fucking shoulder. Don't put it on a goddamn leash. Don't put it in a harness. Let it be a lemur.
I'm okay with that.
9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, you got to be careful going into that animal's home, which is still true. But the lemurs are kind of ass backwards, and it's a little safer to do it that way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's I've seen it time and time again, and I'm gonna keep on doing that. If these lemurs have babies, which they probably won't, because they like to bask in the sun and fuck, and we live in Wisconsin. But if they have babies, I'm not putting them on a goddamn leash. There's no fucking way. I'm gonna let them raise the lemur, and we're gonna have a happy pack of lemurs, happy troop.
Yeah, big
ass but
trooper.
I hate that they're not separating them. But why would they separate them? They want people to own no primates, to do no primate breeding, to be able to stop the sales of primates. You know, and we kind of already have that in some ways because the ringtail lemurs are endangered, so you can't sell them across state lines.
That's right.
I can sell them in Wisconsin, but I can't sell them anywhere else. They have to be donated. Yeah. Which, you
just
know,
like the big cats.
Like the big cats, they have to be donated, which means all the money, you know, if somebody buys a cat these days, they're putting the money under the table. Like, nobody's giving away tigers. No. Nobody's giving away tigers. They just added an extra step for people to be shady. Yep. You know, and who's to say it was wrong to sell them?
Which is crazy because it's like, well, now I don't have to pay taxes on it.
Absolutely. You know, keep the government out a little more. I'm not going to tell my accountant.
Buying a used car for $1, so the DMV only charges you X amount for taxes.
Fuck yeah, these cocksuckers, man. But
they shot themselves in their own foot, though.
Dude, and you know, people come to the ranch, and we have toys in with the lemurs to kind of like appease people, even though they get to interact with them, but they don't use them. The only toys they use are food related puzzles, and then they climb on stuff, you know. But like monkeys will do normal puzzles, and they will put
I seen one playing a video game the other day.
They'll play a fucking video game. They're interactive. Their tails are prehensile. They look in mirrors and stare at themselves. They grab them puzzles that like have, you know, the shapes, and you put the shapes in the right, you know, hole. Like,
I know people that still can't do that to
dude,
this day.
Monkeys do all that shit. Lemurs I hit the mic, sorry guys. Lemurs will absolutely do not. They're so goddamn different. And then, you know, we go into chimps, and we've sent these motherfuckers into space. We've put Neurolinks in their heads. Like, they're smart as shit. Yep. And they're so close to us. And moral of the story, I don't really think they should be in captivity, but we have to have them because there's things like trains and poachers and deforestation and shit like that.
And like I bring up the fact that like if you don't have stuff in captivity, it's going to go extinct eventually.
Absolutely,
like,
because we're humans and we suck.
Yes, we're a cancer, and I can agree with that. But like the Tasmanian tiger, Australia hunted those till extinction. There was one left in a zoo. Yep. That was the last one. Like, there's still shit popping up that we thought was extinct, but nothing like that.
And we haven't learned. You know, the poachers don't care. They make their money. I mean, there's people hunting rhinos yet. You know?
That blows my mind that people still hunt rhinos.
We had buffalo.
Oh, you know, like thousands of buffalo.
There's
hundreds
no
of thousands.
There's no fucking buffalo.
Just in one area.
Dude, like, it's
which I'm okay with, because, like, I'd hate to drive down the because they'd be here.
I agree. It would suck to like hit a buffalo with your car in an accident. I mean, you the buffalo would probably like go and walk away. But like we had them and they're gone. Like, fuck, man. It's such a fucking wild world, man. Whatever.
Oh, bringing that up on the way home yesterday, or Sunday, sorry. We seen like an accident. We were held up in traffic on the freeway, and all of a sudden we drive past, and there's a deer on the left side. It was a decent sized deer. The car gone, like the front end gone. I was like,
Deer was fine.
no, deer was toast.
I mean, he was dead, but like, was it obliterated?
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
By this like little sedan. I was just like, dude, the whole corner panel, it's just from the light and everything, just back was gone. And we were like, holy, that car's totaled.
Poor bastard.
Totaled.
Oh, poor car owner.
Poor,
and the
yeah.
poor deer.
There's too many deer though, man.
There's a lot of deer.
I almost hit one every day or every week.
It's crazy, man. I see deer 24/7, but when I go up north to hunt, I don't see shit. Ever. I've been hunting for 6 years now, I think, and I've seen one deer.
Yeah.
No, I've seen a couple, but they were too far or ran. But I've got one.
You
deer.
gotta spray more
Like,
piss on you.
dude. I must just smell like human piss or something. They're not coming around me. But while we're here, we did get a comment on our last Spotify episode. Somebody was saying that we should talk about Deyoungsu. Which there's not a whole lot of knowledge to go by about. I don't know what this commenter's feelings on Deyoungsu are. I don't know if they like him. I don't know if they don't.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
I don't really give a shit. What I will tell you is I've been there. That's where I went when we went fishing up by Carey's.
You went? Oh, because they had a sign when I was up north last.
Yep. I've been there. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is Carey and Bud. I don't know them like incredibly well. Me and Carey keep in communication, via Facebook, and I got a roo from her and whatnot. She's treated me very well. She gives me hands full of advice. If I need anything, I know I can reach out to her, and we don't even know each other like that. But she's caring. She's very nice. I have nothing bad to say about her. And Bud, the original owner of Deyoungsu, he had opened it. When I got up there for the first time, I had never met this man in my fucking life, dude. He's older now. He's gotta be late 70s or something, and he was the fucking nicest human being on the planet to me. I got out of my car, and it was cold as fuck. When we were.
I wanted to go so bad with you, but yeah.
And I didn't have my gloves on. The first thing this old man says to me is like, "Son, where are your gloves?" And like right then, dude, like I knew I was with good people.
And hold on. Later on that day, when Shane came out fishing with us, we had a reindeer pull the sled off, and we got back in the truck, and Shane's hands were so cold he had no idea what to do with himself.
First of all, when I was at the zoo, it was like noon.
Yeah, it was a little warmer.
When I was out with you, the sun was down, and I'm sorry again. I got incredibly crabby. I was frozen solid.
I've never seen Shane so angry in his life.
I was freezing. My hands were fucking burning. But he was so nice, and he couldn't remember if we had met before. He said I'd seemed familiar, which we hadn't met, but whatever. I'm sure he's met a lot of people through his time.
You're just another animal guy.
So going into that, these guys, they let me see some of their animals. Carrie told me all about her love for hyenas. I played with the badgers a little bit. I saw, their hippo. Fucking incredible, by the way.
All jealous.
The thing that I think would make people look down on Deyoungsu is it's old school. The pens are like Jodan here. It's made out of round wood poles and hog panel. Yep. And and those are the pens for the lions, the tigers. The same shit we have here. It's old school. People don't like that. It's rustic. Like it's a nice property. It's beautiful, but the cages, they're not 20-foot tall, black link with galvanized poles piano wire and hot grass and barbed wire on an angled top. Like it's not that state-of-the-art shit. It's old school. Yep. But you know me, I like old school. I like that shit. So I think that would be the number one reason that people would not like the place, right off the bat. But their animals are fucking fat. They're healthy. They come when they're called. They're beautiful. They're fucking beautiful. I don't have enough fucking hands to count how many goddamn hyenas there were. And it was fucking cool. And they loved this woman. They fucking love Carrie, man. And she fucking loves her cats. I mean, she's big cat Carrie, for Christ's sake. Okay. She fucking loves them cats. I don't recall seeing one, but I know she has had white tigers in the past. So, coming from the cat episode, again, if you had listened to the last episode, the white tiger thing all comes from the perception and what are you doing with those cats?
Yeah.
Are you housing it? Did you breed it? Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. I don't know what the circumstance of her, what her white tiger was. But all I know, borderline, is these people took me in. And they're good fucking people, and they care about their goddamn
Well,
animals.
I am so jealous that you got to play with the hyenas.
I didn't play with hyenas.
I thought you said you
I
did.
didn't go in with hyenas.
No, you pet them though, right?
No.
I thought you did.
No,
Oh.
I played with the badgers and shit, which was the cool.
Still jealous.
That was way fucking cool.
American?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're badass.
So like the Wisconsin Badgers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was my first time being there, you know, and as much as I wanted to play with hyenas, because I know Jason did, I didn't want to overstep my welcome. Jason did. I didn't want to overstep my welcome. I didn't ask, you know, like I did pet the cougar, you know, which that just blossomed, you know, my love for cougars even more. I forgot how fucking cool they are. There's so much shit there. They got a lot of stuff, and the animals they're well cared for. They're fucking very well cared for. And then
gotta make it up there.
Then Carrie, she has a secondary business called Critter Connections, which is at a different property where people come to do the capybara encounters and otters and a monkey and all that shit. And that place, it's rather fresh. That one's not super old school. It's kind of like it's a smaller building, but it's really nice. Yeah, it's super nice. And you walk in, and there's a little gift store to your left, and the encounter rooms, they're actually all behind like patio sliding doors. It looks really cool. So when you're in like the waiting room, you can see the capybara hanging out, you know.
So it's professional looking.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's super fucking nice, you know. So she's got a method to her madness for sure. Like she's making this animal world shit work. And another thing I want to touch base with on Carrie real quick. I should have said this at the before, but Carrie and Bud, they're hand in hand at DeYoung Family Zoo. You know, I don't know what her stake is. I don't know if she's like 50% owner or not. I really don't know, but that's the nutshell of who Carrie is. But another thing I want to touch base on real quick about her is, you know, down here in Wisconsin, if I want a native animal, I need a DNR permit.
Yep.
And exotics are USDA. Carrie, and I don't know who else, but she did a lot of fighting and got that law changed up in Michigan. So if you have a USDA permit in Michigan, you no longer need a DNR permit for a native species.
Really?
Yep. And
Wow.
that blew my fucking mind.
Is that just UP or is that all of Michigan?
Just Michigan in general. Yep.
Okay.
So that blows my fucking mind. That's legendary. You know,
that's huge.
I would like to get people together here in Wisconsin to try and change that, because why the fuck can I have a USDA license and own a tiger, but I can't get a fucking cougar because it's under DNR, you know?
In case it escapes, probably, yada,
Who gives
yada.
a shit? The USDA will report it. You know,
Yeah.
that can all be fucking changed. Or you know, I have to report my skunks to the fucking DNR. Who gives a
Anything native,
shit? But
yep.
why do I need a DNR permit to own my goddamn skunks when I can get a USDA permit and buy a fucking elephant?
Well, USDA is a lot more loose, too, though.
They both fucking suck.
Oh, yeah.
For all as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Though the one thing I do have to say is when I got my cougar inspection, dude was chill as fuck. That was a cool fucking dude. I do not remember the DNR guy's name, but he's been here before for Jodan.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember his goddamn name.
So he's familiar with the property, you know.
Yeah, he's super fucking cool. I like that
good.
guy. And my USDA inspector, she's a nice lady too. But all the USDA inspectors, they have just niche backgrounds. You know, Dr. Waldrop, her background's in slaughterhouses. Like, what the fuck? You know, what?
You're not a slaughterhouse.
No, I'm a zoo with 30 different species, and you're going to know the cows that I don't have. You know, like I don't
Well,
even have
camels are kind of cows. But
It's a ruminant, but like
the goats.
I don't know. But moral of the story, up at DeYoung Zoo, I don't know the ins and outs of them. I haven't known them too well. I've been there. It is old school. You know, that maybe there are some things that could use some updating. All the old zoos do. That place is over 40 years old.
Oh, okay.
It's
So,
it's old, man. It's
like
fucking
this
old.
place?
Absolutely. It's just like this place. You know, it's how all the old zoos are. But the animals stay contained.
Yep.
They are happy. They are healthy. And that is what matters. And those people have been so goddamn incredibly nice to me. I don't have nothing bad to say.
Because the
about
new zoo's up there, too.
it. I've not been there yet. We should check that out.
Yeah, the new zoo. And then I went to Garland. You've been to Garland, right?
I've not. Just you.
Oh, I love Garland.
No, I sent out the I did a fecal sample for them for Jason.
Oh, that's
but
right.
all I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that's a fun zoo. It's far up there, though.
Is that UP?
Yeah, way up.
Okay.
That's by the Mackinac Bridge.
Oh, that's far as shit. That's
Scary
sketchy bridge.
Yeah, scary bridge.
Is that the longest bridge like that in the country?
I don't know if it's the longest in the country, but it's longer than Golden Gate.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
And when we were going through it in the fog, I looked over the side in the Kia Kona that we were driving because he went to the right lane and the guardrail. There's nothing guardrail. That doesn't exist there. And I looked down and I was like, I can't see the water, so we were really high.
And, on the topic of all this too, I don't know how it's affected Carrie, but like you can find news articles on them on the internet, and people have tried to come at them for their primates.
Who's that?
PETA, Carrie.
Really?
I don't think chimp. I first the fuck of all, I'm sure Tiger King did them terribly the same way it did us because we had cats here and they have cats.
Yep.
And then Chimp Crazy came out and they have primates up there. They got some big ass primates up there.
Oh, they do.
But I guarantee you it fucked them up more putting that TV show out. And
yeah,
I've seen their enclosure. It's fucking cool, dude. There's a projector in there. They watch movies, dude.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's fucking nice. It's
any enrichment's good enrichment for them guys,
dude. Absolutely, and it's just we're going after the bad people,
Yeah.
I actually went down a rabbit hole and watched another chimp documentary. There's another one. I'll get you the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what it's called.
I forgot
what it's called. Fuck you. I know I'm forgetting now too. It's called like The Cage Unlocked or something like that.
Ooh.
I'll send it to you. We'll talk about.
Well, we still got to watch that. We got a couple other things to watch too.
We got a whole bunch of shit, and guys, sorry, Chimp Crazy's pretty old. A lot of you have probably watched it.
That's why we did it, because we're like, if people who've seen it, and they want to, hear about it.
And honestly, I've been dreading watching it.
Me too.
I was like, fuck it. Here's the excuse. Let's talk about these crazy bastards.
That's the only reason why I watched it, for this that we're doing right now.
And to put it in limelight, I gotta tell you, with the Tiger Kings and the Chimp Crazy bitches and shit like that, not everybody's like this.
No.
And you also do have to remember that outside of television, these people are people.
Yes.
They go to the grocery store. They gas up their car. They feed their fucking kids. Like, they do normal people shit. But of course, everything is going to look more unnatural on camera. Though, from all the people I have met that knew Joe Exotic, they all said he was a very eccentric person.
For sure he was.
Absolutely. Like, as far as I know, that show was not exactly fake.
No, he was in a threesome gay marriage, which is fine, whatever, do you boo-boo, but
he was wild.
That's exotic.
Absolutely, he was exotic for sure. So that documentary is definitely real. From everybody I talked to in my travels that know Carol and Joe, like, they did not miss a beat in that documentary. But all I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, these people do have normal lives.
Yeah.
But we're not all like this. I don't go have a threesome and then go lay half naked in my capybara pen with a gun. I don't do that.
It'd be kind of cool, though.
Maybe.
You could do it if you wanted to.
Maybe, yeah.
One day. Life goals. Life goals. We're marking them off here.
Life goals here. There was one more thing I wanted to fucking bring up here. God damn it. See, you're giving me your bad fucking brain, I think. This is what it was. It was just a quick article. It was Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago. They recently lost a seal and a flamingo to the bird flu. Yeah.
A seal?
A seal. A fucking seal.
Like a water seal?
Yeah, a seal. So why I'm saying this real quick before we get off the air is bird flu is very fucking real. And let's not treat this like COVID. Because I didn't give a fuck about COVID, and then I got it, and I still didn't really give a fuck about COVID. Like, it's a thing, and it's not that terrible, but the bird flu it can really fuck all of our animals up. And if you are going to a farm, wash your fucking shoes. If you're going to a zoo, please don't go feed your chickens and then go to the fucking zoo. Like, let's be safe for everybody.
Don't eat bird poop.
Like, don't eat bird poop. If you have an exotic cat and you're feeding it raw chicken, if you want to keep doing that, cool, but maybe think twice about it. It's kind of a little bit of a pandemic here, and bird flu's been around for a long period of time, but we're killing animals here.
It's evolving.
It is. All viruses evolve, And what I'm saying is, everybody just play your part. I got a lot of mammals here, and I would be really, really, really upset if bird flu came in and murked all my shit.
And yourself, that would be horrible.
And my fucking honestly,
you would be the next.
If bird flu came in here and murked all my animals, I'd kill myself.
Just don't kill the kookaburra.
Not the fucking barra. Don't
Gotta
do that
keep
shit.
that fucker alive.
Don't do that shit. So everybody, just play their parts. Don't be stupid. Wash your clothes. Wash your shoes if you're going place to place, especially if you work at any place with poultry or any kinds of birds. If you work with wild birds, if you're in wild bird photography, if you're in nature, just be safe about shit. It is real. I don't know where the bird flu came from at Lincoln Park Zoo. I don't know if they have barnyard, animals there, like peacocks or anything, or if it's a wild bird shit on the
from
thing.
Wild birds too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge source of it is the wild birds.
Yeah.
But everybody just stay clean. It's a real thing. Especially if you have a lot of people have chickens of your own. Keep your coop clean. Let's everybody avoid this together.
This kind of brings it back to the conspiracy of birds not being real.
You're fucking dumb. They're all cameras.
It existed for thousands of years.
Fucking Christ. All right, guys. With that one, I'm letting you guys go so we don't have to listen to Fluffy anymore.
Conspiracy
theories. We'll save that more for next week. We'll see what next week we're talking about. I appreciate you guys chiming in. And as always,
happy hump day, everybody.